So last week, I said I was going to talk about what happened when you finish shooting your film. So of course, you want to have your film to be seen. And we'll talk about, fame and fortune. You see a lot of people become super rich because they're in the film industry. They become star directors and star screenwriters and star producers. That is part of the seduction of this business, the glamorous of this business. That's what you see on the front, the glamorous part of the business. So-and-so is living in Beverly Hills in a $1 million mansion because they produce films. Okay, yes, there is that part. But I just want to tell you right now that is too far away from you. You should just focus on making your film and focus on perfecting your craft, because when you do good work, the rewards, remember I said the rewards will come automatically. The rewards will eventually come if you just focus on doing good work. If you're doing this because of money, you will get lost because you will fail many times before you succeed. And when you fail, if you're just in it for the money, you're not going to get back up or you're going to quit. That drive to keep you going is not the money. If you want to make money, go be a stockbroker or go open a business or go do some real estate. But if you're in it for the passion, that passion is going to drive you. And you will fail many times, but you'll eventually become successful. And that's when, the fame and the money comes. But that's not easy. It's like climbing up to the top of a, mountain, top of Himalaya mountain. You don't just get up there because you're looking for the money sign. You get up there because your passion to go through all these tough roads, and eventually you see the top of the mountain. And many people, they just see the people standing on the top. They don't see the process of getting on the top. So that's something you got to understand. I'm not trying to scare you. I'm not trying to make you quit. But I just do want to give you a reality of this film business. So when you have that expectation, then you are ready. If you fail, you know you're going to fail. That's fine, because failure is part of the success. And that's more true in this business than any other business, because you fail more and you get rejected a lot. Trust me. Even if you have a thin skin, you'll develop a thick skin. You gotta have a thick skin. There's no successful director I met that have thin skin, because if you have a thin skin, you can't survive in this business. I know some of you might say, well, I'm an artist. I don't want to deal with that. Well, you don't, but eventually you will. And if you want to become successful, like I said earlier, unless you want to make film for yourself and with yourself your whole life, you got to deal with people, because film is a people business. You deal with people all the time, and people hire you because you are their friend, in a way that people want to work with their friends, because shooting film is very tough. Okay? Shooting a movie is very tough, and it's even tougher if you're shooting film with people you don't like or people who have a bad temper. They just make your job more miserable. So people want to shoot film with their friends. That's why people, you see many directors work with the same actors over and over again with different films. It's because they become good friends and they know how each other work, they understand each other. So in the next film, they would like to hire them again, because each film sometime goes on forever, like a year or so, and you have to spend your life with that person. Believe it or not, I'm a very introvert person. I don't like to go to a big party. I don't like to be in a crowd. But you learn. You learn because you have this passion to make films, and you realize without meeting other people and just sitting in front of your computer, you're not gonna be able to make films unless you wanna be a writer. And even writers have to meet other people. It's very important you train yourself to become an outgoing person. I know this is not part of filmmaking, but it is part of the business. Okay, so you gotta be out there, even if you're a screenwriter. I mean, many screenwriters I met, they're socially awkward, but they still go out there because that's part of their job, and that's part of your job if you're a filmmaker. You gotta go out there and meet people, your crew, your cast. You gotta talk to them. Earlier I said you gotta talk to your cast. You gotta tell them what's going on with, the movie. That's part of the training of, communication. If you can't communicate with people, maybe you can try, game designing. I don't know, but to be in this business, film is a people's business, meaning you talk to other people, people know each other, and people hire people that they're comfortable with because they're gonna spend the next 1 year or so with you, and they don't wanna spend 1 year with a jerk. Many times in these film sets, people become family because in a way it is kind of your family. Think of a circus, a traveling circus, okay? Sometimes a film shoot is kind of like a traveling circus because you go to different location and you do different film scenes, and everybody go from location to location and maybe live at a hotel and everybody eat together. So it's kind of like a group traveling and performing. So it is kind of like a circus. And, in many times there are many different personalities in the film crew and cast. And you, as the director, are like the ringleader. You have to kind of deal with them. So you have to be very careful with the people that you hire. You got to make sure that you like them. You got to make sure that they do their job. That is the job of the filmmaker, and that is part of filmmaking. So now you got your film finished, you got to go out and sell your film. That is the traditional way a filmmaker does in the past. But now it's a little bit different. Now, many things you can do it online. Before, you have to meet someone to show your film or to talk to them about your film. Now you still do, I guess, but you do it on Zoom and you do it through internet. So in a way, it's easier, but in a way, it's harder because more people have access to the internet. So the people who make decisions have to see more people. A lot of these films are not what he wanted, so they have a more longer process of eliminating the people or the projects they don't want to see, but that takes more time to get to your project that eventually they will like or they will see. So it's very important for you to know the ropes. When I say know the ropes, meaning like where to go with your film and who to see and how to get help to have your film seen. And that is very important, that where you go after you finish your project. Where do you go with your project after you finish it? Whether you're seeking for work or seeking for experience and seeking for relationship, these are going to help you a lot. The earlier you understand about the process, the more successful you will be down the road. Filmmaking is worth it because How many jobs out there people can truly say they love doing their job? They love doing what they do and make a living of it. Not too many, right? Filmmaking is one of those jobs. So it's worth it for you to go for it, okay? And we're here to help. We're here to help. Now that I'm finished with the process, I just want to take some time to really go back to the basics again before you do the filmmaking, or you're thinking about having a filmmaker's career or are ready to go for this filmmaking career. You should have a talk with yourself that why you are doing this. Do you truly love the art? Okay? And why you want to do filmmaking. It's a process and discovery, but I can tell you right now why I choose to do the filmmaking. I choose to do the filmmaking because it is a way to express myself. Earlier, I'm not really sure because I just think it's fun. But as I get older, I realize it is a very important tool to express yourself, because in this age of diversity, there's a lot of things many people doesn't know about your culture, and you don't know many people's culture. So through filmmaking, you can introduce that. And in a way, filmmaking has transferred onto YouTube and social media with all the videos you can watch, because the more you watch another culture, the more you understand another culture. Sometimes we develop prejudice toward others because we don't understand them. It is important for the world to understand other cultures and other people. And that way we can have a more friendlier world. And in a way, I think filmmaking promotes that, because you get to watch how people live in China, and China get to watch how people live in the United States, or you watch a film that you found out the culture of Eastern European. These are the things you would not understand if you don't see a story about them. And that's why filmmaking is so powerful. It's a great way to communicate, and it's a great way to promote world peace to me, because when you understand the others, they're not the others anymore. Emotionally, you can connect with them. And when you can connect someone emotionally, will you still call them enemy? No. I wanted to do this course also because a lot of you are young, you're the next generation, and it is important for you to learn the tools of communicating your own culture and your own background and where you come from, and promote that. And when people understand you, then you are not a stranger anymore, you know? So that is the power of filmmaking. And I hope you learn a lot through this course. And I hope I inspire you to go out and communicate with others. And I hope in the future, the world understand each other, and this one world become one family, and everything become one.